Well, hello, friends. Cowboy Jobu here with the Jobu Sports Report. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, nobody'd be watching me now, would they? Now, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and the fine and talented Molly are back on First Take. And lo and behold, they are actually supporting Zeke Elliot. They think that the NFL is wrong for holding him hostage for well over a year. And I am flabbergasted. Now, as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on the button over here of me and Sean Lee. And be sure to check us out tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, for our live stream. Now let's go to the tape.
The risk is worth the potential reward. We, firsthand, the Cowboys, have had some very serious success with guys that work through things. I don't know that we have Super Bowls without Charles Haley. I don't know that you have Super Bowls without Michael Irvin.
Very good point. First, shout out to North Carolina Central for helping us out there. That was a good one.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's all about the CIAA conference all day, every day. I'm very, very proud in North Carolina Central. But up the road is a school by the name of Winston-Salem State University.
Do you know anyone who's been honored there?
Well, listen,
gotten any awards
the great
lately?
Earl of Pearl Monroe, the legendary Clarence Big House Games once coached there. I went there. I got my degree from there. I'm trying to figure out Central and their band, but now Winston-Salem State. I'm going to have a discussion with First Take folks.
By the way, you mentioned Earl the Pearl. Kids, YouTube him. Just YouTube Earl the Pearl.
Like Jesus.
Earl the Pearl will make your jaw drop. However, 40-something years later.
Get familiar, get educated on all of it, but you guys know what it is. It's time to keep up with the Joneses. So essentially, what we're hearing is that from Jerry earlier is how they have all the information that they need, Stephen A., the NFL. This investigation has been going on for a year. What do you take away from this situation?
Well, I take away from it that the NFL is being incredibly unfair to Ezekiel Elliott. That's not a popular stance to take. I don't care. Let's take into consideration, I'm a fan of Darrelle Revis. I thought the charges against him was bogus when he got into beef with folks outside of some apartment complex or what have you, where he was conducting business, because he took ownership of that. He had 2 felony assault charges, as well as 1 count of felony robbery and conspiracy, plus misdemeanor counts for threats. The charges were dismissed by mid-March. Okay, so he's going to be playing in the NFL this year, obviously. It took just 2.5 months from the time the charges were dropped against Revis to the time he was cleared by the NFL. That is that. Meanwhile, we are more than 10 months in where Ezekiel Elliott, he was accused of having an incident with a former girlfriend. He was brought into questioning by the police in Columbus, Ohio. No charges were filed. The Columbus district attorney didn't pursue the case because of conflicting stories and lack of evidence to verify the assault. And the NFL is still leaving this case open and investigating it. All I'm trying to say is this. Damn it, you're a multi-billion-dollar industry. Put the best investigators on the matter. Find out what the hell is going on and either suspend Ezekiel Elliott or not. But to drag this out, to keep this in the mind's eye of the public, to have Ezekiel Elliott's name just dangling out there as a potential assaulter of a woman, to me, he deserves far worse than that if he's guilty, but far less than that if he's not. And if you don't know, you don't know. And in this nation, you are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. If you're the NFL and you're saying he cast aspersions on the league, he sullied the name of the league, then suspend him for that and get it over with. But to have him dangling out there like this, keeping us reminded of this situation, there seems to be some kind of agenda here, and I don't like it.
Well, the agenda is the NFL wants to cover their butt. That's what animates their behavior. That's really what goes on. We want to make sure, after the Ray Rice situation especially, domestic violence, toward a man and a woman and an accusation, we want to turn over every stone, make sure there's nothing there. This is what I would say to the NFL. And look, do they need business advice? It's one of the most successful businesses on the globe, right? So I don't know that I'm giving them business advice, but as it pertains to this issue, I quoted The Wire earlier, Stephen A. This is a Spike Lee joint. Remember, do the right thing. Always do the right thing. If that's what's animating your behavior, is that you're trying to do the right thing, then you wouldn't be doing this for a year, right? But are they trying to do the right thing, or are they trying to cover themselves politically with the fans in the event that something happened that gets revealed at a later date? That's what it seems like to me that they're doing. It seems to me that that's why this is dragging on. And you and I agree about this. It shouldn't be.
I'd like to add one thing, though. So I've stood up here and been very critical of the NFL and how they've handled domestic violence situations. Sure. Obviously,
we all have.
This is considered sexual assault.
Right.
And I get what you're saying, where this is a year. This is excessive. They have the money. They have the means to get to the bottom of this. But I have to applaud them from the fact, and I know you're saying they're covering their tracks as political. I have to applaud them that they're trying to at least get to the bottom of it and handle it properly, and then they can't botch it again.
Well,
so I'd rather them take
respect.
all the precautions. I don't know if new information, anything is coming out where we have another situation where they drop the ball. They can't afford to do that.
I completely disagree with you. And the reason why I completely disagree with you is because of the time that we're talking about here. Listen, if the evidence is there, don't tell any of us that it's taking you this long to find it. If you have the police department, if you have the local district attorney, and they couldn't get to the bottom of this, what is the NFL supposed to do? It's like it comes to a point, it gets to a point in time, excuse me, do you have the answers or don't
But
you?
Stephen A., what would be their agenda? This is America's team. You know, why would this make the NFL look good by dragging it? Zeke's a star.
It's not that it makes them look good. It's that in the event that anything ever comes out, they are covered.
Exactly.
Because they right.
And that's what I was applauding them for.
What they're sacrificing is a man who has not, charges have not been brought against someone.
Why are you saying you don't have a problem with it, Molly, if it is clear that they're covering their own behinds as opposed to doing what's right?
Well, hopefully they're trying to do what's right and get to the bottom of it, find the truth.
That's what we're accusing them of. We're not saying that the objective is supposed to be exhausting every means and every measure to get to the truth.
And that's what I'm trying to believe that they're doing. And being naive that it's taking
But wait a minute. Listen, the NFL, it doesn't take this long. Not this long, because ultimately, if the local prosecutor and the PDs, they can't come to a conclusion. If you're the NFL, what information do you hope to get when you have access?
I know, they're
to
just
all that?
always reactive, and I'm like, maybe they're finally being proactive, but I get what you're saying, it's a year.
This is all conjecture on our part, right? We're trying to read it and see what's with, and what you're saying, it seems to me, and I agree with it, is at a certain point, or at least it seems like from afar, they're doing this for political reasons, and you're saying, Molly, it seems to me that no, they're actually trying to do the right thing. We don't know what's actually animating their behavior.
I don't have a problem if the NFL came out months ago and said, you know what? Your name is in the news. This sullies our brain. You sit down for a game. You sit down for 2 games. We don't know what happened. But the fact that you find yourself in this situation, we're going to send a message. I would be fine with that. The problem is they're literally telling you, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. And as a result, they're continuing to leave the investigation open.
So
again, they got it wrong.
So is the point of contention actually that you believe that if they are doing the right thing, if it's a desire to do it, but it seems to me in that case that it's a really actually philosophical argument that even if that's what's animating, they can't be. What's animating their behavior can't be to do the right thing, because if it takes over a year, you're being unfair to the accused.
At the end of the day, I hope he's innocent. He's out there playing.
Anybody that's guilty of such a thing should pay the price. There is no question. But if you can't attach guilt to this man, then the objective word is to claim innocence. Zeke Elliot has come out and said, I'm not guilty of this. I'm innocent of this. So if he's saying he's innocent of this, and everywhere he goes, we have to ask these questions about him. If indeed he is innocent, how fair is that to an innocent individual to have your name dangling over such an issue?
To Molly's point, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. Because if they did a timely investigation, even if
maybe
they found
they're deciding if they want to suspend him for other things. I mean, he had other. No, I'm just saying.
Molly,
the NFL could be looking into that.
No, Molly.
Do they want him to sit?
They're saying it's this.
That's what they're saying. But clearly we don't know a lot. But some of the other incidents, maybe they're compiling it all, and it doesn't. His behavior doesn't fall under like the NFL
if you
personal
got that- if you
conduct
got-
policy.
well, listen,
it doesn't matter if
that's
he's
their
arrested.
problem.
No, I get it, and I'm
But
not saying
you're
it's right. I'm
proving
just
our
telling
point.
you.
You're
Maybe that's
proving
what
our
I'm looking
point.
into.
They are about themselves, not about what's right and wrong. Because if you got a problem with him smoking weed or pulling on some girl's shirt and exposing a cleavage and stuff like that, okay, that's fine. You absolutely bring that to the equation. No, it's this section.
What it
it's
comes
this
down to-
accusation of
I'm
sexual
not
assault.
saying they might be looking at
And it's
everything. They
dangling
could be.
over
I
you
don't
like
know,
that.
and maybe that's why
What
it's
it
taking
comes
longer.
down
I'm
to,
not
the
Deal
sure.
with him,
reason,
suspend
the
him, leave him
reason,
alone.
what's significant to me is what animates their behavior, is what it comes down to. Is, let's say what you're saying is true. Let's say they're finding other things, or they think there's a whiff of something, even if they don't have proof, and they want to make sure they're buttoned up, and it's not to cover their butts later, but it's to do the right thing, right? And you're saying that, no, in fact, even if that's the case, you can't drag a guy's name through the mud forever. Eventually, you have to close up shop, right? To me, what is important is that what's animating their behavior is actually doing the right thing and not worrying about the fallout later. And that does not seem to be, to me, to be the MO of the NFL. They seem to
appear what's
always
actually
be,
happening,
they seem,
yes.
appear to always be wanting to do damage control down the line. What will hurt
Just
us
do what's
most if
right. it
comes out later?
Let's do what's right.
With it. We
By the
gotta
way,
leave it there.
by
Yeah.
the way, I made a mistake earlier. I don't want to sit there. North Carolina Central is a part of the MEAC conference. They used to be in the CIAA
Okay.
with my school.
You
They are
just
the
wanted to
MEAC.
shout out your school, let's be honest.
They're in the MEAC conference.
That's a wrap, friends. What a great 2015 season. Don't go anywhere because the NFL Combine is coming up at the end of the month, as well as the draft. And the Jobu Report will be there, bringing it all to you. Thanks again, friends, for following the Jobu Report. I'm Cowboy Jobu.